Hello everybody, good evening, welcome back. Today we've got a couple stuff to talk about. Surprise Trump made a surprise appearance at a digital asset summit that we were going to talk about. A couple of comments that Trump also had in regards to yesterday's Fed meeting FOMC thing that happened with the interest rate decision and all that kind of stuff where we had Jerome Powell speak about what he expects for the economy to look like with all of this tariff stuff that's going on, with the recession fears, with stagflation. No longer none of that is any possibility, it seems like. So yeah, we're going to talk about that and just other stuff that's going on around the world, specifically related to crypto. Let's start off with Bitcoin. We saw a drop over here, and that was thanks to Trump. Unfortunately, it seems like everybody like overhypes whenever Donald Trump is going to speak publicly at any event when it has to do with crypto. People are expecting him to say, so I don't know what you're expecting Trump to say, like, oh, okay, well, mainly I would understand no capital gains tax, but anything else, like what? Oh, I like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is great. Solana is great. Ethereum is great. I don't think that's going to have the same effect. And maybe it does. I don't know. I don't know what people are expecting. But regardless, not a lot was said. Just generic stuff. We had a 3% drop because of that. And currently recovering from there. If I can get this exact 1% back up. Currently $84,400 for Bitcoin. Overall down 1.78% in the 24 hours. Currently, we lost the uptrend due to the drop. Now we're uncertain of whether we will continue to go up or down. I did a risky trade over here in XRP today. Yesterday's trade in Litecoin closed with a stop loss, believe it or not, which is absolutely mind-boggling. We were so close to a take profit yesterday night. It didn't continue rising, and because of this drop, everything dropped practically. XRP had a 4% drop, almost 5%. You can imagine what Litecoin did. It dropped to 90, and yeah, that's where I lost my position. XRP had a great pump though yesterday. That was because of the SEC dropping its case against XRP, so people were rejoicing for the 5th time. And it wasn't that great of a pump in ways, like what, 14% pump in total, right? It's not too bad, but we're practically, yeah, we lost all of that already. We're back at $2.44 for XRP. I did manage to enter after the drop happened. I took this in account because I realized that unlike Bitcoin that was in a no trend zone because it was inside the super trend and the 200 simple moving average, XRP was not. It still managed to maintain itself above it, closed above both, so I saw that as a clear entry for, a clear opportunity for a possible entry, right? So that's where I entered, and it's been going sideways. Bit positive, bit negative. Currently on the positive side, making 28 right now. My target is 141 once it reaches $2.50, which I feel like it could be possible, right? We've touched upon that point a couple times, but it was mainly due to the, all this fundamental that we got over here. On its own, it doesn't really reach that point. So that's what's a little bit concerning to me. This is from before, like it dropped down, so that doesn't really count. We're talking about since when we recovered. XRP's lowest point was 189. And on its own, it was not able to reach 250. Like, I'm talking no fundamentals. With fundamental, sure. XRP, the SEC case, that's all done. But now, what's next, right? Are we able to maintain the upward momentum? Maybe it'll... The movement of Bitcoin moving upward, hopefully, will rub off onto the other altcoins as well, which that could possibly impulse XRP upward. As I'm speaking, yeah, I think you guys are buying. Thanks for buying. Yeah, it's rising, 244 right now. All right, well, we'll leave that there throughout the stream just to see how it goes. I'll jump over to Litecoin because that's where we entered yesterday. Matter of fact, I'm going to draw out the trade that we did yesterday, which is right over here. Open price, and when did I enter? I entered over here. Buy. I was long, right? Yeah, so and it sold over here. So okay, I'm draw the long position here approximately. You got the idea. Entry price is right there. Close price would have been the stop loss, right? And take profit would be whatever this is, 1 to 3. So look, it was going really well. And I was live like over here, right? And we had just taken a little drop from there, but unfortunately overnight it didn't continue rising. It just went back to its entry price. And then once Trump went live at that conference, the summit, crypto summit, not crypto summit, digital asset summit, yeah, unfortunately it dropped and hit my stop loss. So that's where that trade died. That's what it looks like in total. Unfortunate. What could I do to improve this? I'm thinking of a different way to use a stop loss, but it's just gonna go against you know, everything that I've back tested, right? It's similar to what I'm doing right now. What I'm planning to do instead is, you know, use the average true range. Currently my stop loss is you find the minimum of the last 3 candles. Usually I used to do 10, but for this strategy I'm doing 3 candles, right? Which would be like the minimum of, where did I buy? I bought over here apparently, right? So that would mean 1, 2, 3. This is the lowest point. You do 2 times the average true range with this amount over here. Add that candle was 0.41. No, it would be from the current candle, 0.42. So 42 cents, 42 cents. This would be where your stop loss is, right? What I'm planning to do instead is check the last 10 candles and find the lowest point. Do the average true range, but only, I'm thinking either add it, like a percentage, based on the ADX. And I'm going to add the ADX in here. I thought I did already, but apparently I don't have it. Average Directional Index. This thing. I'm going to move it up here. It measures the strength of the trend, right? From a scale of 0 to 100. Always. Anything above 25 indicates a strong trend. Anything below 25 is a weak trend. So, I don't know. Since the number is usually like what? At this time it was 18. I would do, I'm thinking 18% of 42 or 42 plus 18% of that. Like a tax, I guess, kind of deal. I don't know. I have to draw it out and see which one looks better. Because I think the first one would be better, where it's only 18% of 42. Why? Because I'm already looking at the last 10 candles, and you're obviously going to find a very, very low point. Just put it like a little bit below that, right? So like, what, 18% of that? Or how about minus 18%? Like 18% of 42, you subtract that from 42. I don't know. I have to figure out a way. One of those 3. I'll figure out a way. I'll do a bit more like manual backtesting and see where it looks a little better, right? In this case, could this stop loss have been avoided? Probably, yes. Whoops, didn't mean to do that, but like the trade could have still stayed alive in that case, but also my take profit would be much further up now, like about over here, 95.58. Didn't I have any resistance drawn? I don't have any resistances drawn. Am I in the right market? I am. I actually don't have any. Where's my Fibonacci? It's all gone. Did I delete it by accident? Or maybe I guess the chart reset. Well, all my price action is gone. That's fine. I'll reanalyze everything for you guys anyway. So lowest point is here, of course, February 2nd. Highest point was December 5. It's obvious where I'm going to draw that. Yeah, so the first resistance was here. That's what I recalled, at 95. I was initially content because my take profit would be below that 95 resistance based off of a fib zone, so that made me happy a little bit, but then unfortunately this happened to hit a stop loss. So that trade no longer exists. I didn't mean to do that. Alright. Now, I do want to write this down in my trading workbook, because we write everything down. Bitcoin was already written. Let's write Litecoin. LTC is closed today, 320. Entry price is 91.38. Close price was 90.08. Was expecting to reach 95. Unfortunately, couldn't do that. Lost 49. I've been just constant loss so far on this. But hey, it's part of the game. How many losses? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 realistic losses in a row ever since I dropped more money in here, right? So I've just been, yeah, it's $200 at a loss. Unfortunate, but we can easily recover that. I'm not too concerned yet. So let's add these fees in here. So there you go. This was a stop loss triggered. Save that. Been losing $13 per day. Yeah, cool. All right. Ever since I started, 16 days. In 16 days of bot trading, it's lost $13 every day. That adds up, believe it or not. Okay, well, we don't need that anymore for now. We're just paying attention now to this XRP trade. Did everything erase? I think it did. Well, yeah, all my price action is gone. Cool. Cool, I can... High point over here, January 2025. Yeah, that seems reasonable. We're now looking for resistances. I do think this is a very important support. You can see that for sure. The fib will draw that, so I'm not going to draw anything on there specifically at the moment. I'll adjust that top level in a sec. There. So, yeah. That's what we have for here. First resistance already broken, but we didn't even drop that hard initially. Man, these little markings are in the way. That's what I remember from yesterday. We hit that exact resistance from yesterday's pump. We couldn't continue from there. We dropped over here. 4 hours super trend is still considered an uptrend, and it's putting its invalidation zone at this other Fibonacci level, right? $2.15. So the resistance we're looking at right now is 258 in terms of in the macro perspective, right? I'm hoping we don't get volatility toward the downside that will be enough to hit my stop loss. Also, speaking of a stop loss, this is like right on that Fibonacci zone as well, 239. I just don't like this little wick over here from the 1 hour chart, right? Look at this. This is actually, it's a decent stop loss, actually. All made automatically by the bot, by the way. I had no say in where to put the stop loss. I coded it, sure, but it put it at this level. What do you have coinciding with those levels? The Fibonacci, right? The super trend. And yeah, I guess that's it. It is below a couple minimum low points, right? So I guess that's fine. And reasonable target, 141. Seems like it's a shorter trade. In terms of percentages, we're supposed to gain a 3%. Can happen in a day. Or we could also lose 1%, which also can happen in a day. So that's for you to decide at this point. Let's see. I also do want to change the view of this. There we go. I like this view better for the two. It just looks cool. I like black and red. And I'm not too concerned about this resistance. Like, my take profit will be hit before we even challenge that resistance. So I'm feeling a little confident about this one as well. But of course, you can't get too cocky. See what happened just yesterday or this morning, whatever you want to see it, this afternoon, with Litecoin. Everything was going fine. But Trump just had to say, we're making crypto great again, and everything still dropped. So I don't know what people want anymore in this world. Everything is bullish. You should be happy, you should be celebrating, but no, people are just, they're too greedy. They're expecting too much, is what I think they're doing. All right. $31 so far. Let's analyze other coins here. Solana at 128. We were at 136 yesterday. Where did I purchase on my main account? Like 139, I think. Why 139? Surely we had a Fibonacci or something drawn. Oh man, from its all-time high, I guess, towards this drop. Yeah. There's got to be some important zone coming up at 230, 155. Yeah, no, realistically, I don't have any other zone to draw out. What is this zone? August 5 recession fear. That reached a low of 109. Our current low was 112. Like, Solana erased all of the gains that it made. And even beyond that, like, since the auction is what I'm trying to say. 4-hour super trend's still bearish. That's not great. Other coins had bullish. Like, even XRP had bullish. Was it XRP or Litecoin? I don't remember. No, not Litecoin. So it was XRP. Yeah, XRP's got a bullish super trend in the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart is what seriously would, you know, make more sense. Like, it's easier to identify where you should draw the uptrends by looking at a 4-hour super trend. Like any upper trends or downtrends, right? Like this. You could easily tell it's like that. The downtrend would have been broken already once this flipped, based off of a downtrend you can see from here. It's just so easy to identify. That's why I like the super trend. With this configuration though, 5 ATR and 5 length or whatever it is. Yeah, 5 length, 5 factor in the 4-hour chart. But then the 1-hour chart, I need the super trend to flip more frequently so I can identify trends for my 5-minute entries in the 1-hour chart, right? So that's something separate. So yeah, this is broken, this downtrend. We're now officially in an uptrend for XRP. That's another reason why I agreed to go bullish on that. Anyways, back to Solana. Sorry. Still downtrend. And you can see that from, well, I guess from here still. Literally from its all-time high level. That's the one that really matters. Couple things do need to happen. Breaking out of 136, which was the high that we had yesterday. It seems like at a very important resistance. You can see that, right? Multiple lines over here. 136.687. Yeah, I agree. Is this level? What level is this? No, it's 135. I was going to say maybe it's a good support as well. Could be. Could be. Like if you do something like this. Yeah, I see that. Support becomes resistance is what price action would tell you ideally. If we do manage to break out of that, we would agree to draw an uptrend here. But for now, not confirmed. I wouldn't draw anything yet. It's too early to tell in my opinion. For now, I'm expecting Solana to continue toward the downside. Could take a while, though. Could take a while. We do need fundamentals to continue pushing it upward. I'll draw an uptrend here just to see what happens. Symmetrical triangle. The downtrend is a bit more steeper, so that one is more likely to be broken, in my opinion. So yeah, we're likely to see a break of this, get this super trend flip bullish, and then have this uptrend be the one that sends us higher. Breaking, of course, out of the resistance that we have at 136. That's what's important for Solana. To do that, we're going to need about a 6, almost 7% pump. Yeah, that's why I said it's going to take a while. It's not going to be immediate. We could get some good fundamentals that will help us push higher. But for now, nothing. Let's look at SUI. Currently down 3.57%, $2.34.5. Similar deal to Solana. SUI and Solana, similar. So we reached a high of 537 back in January 6th. Oh, we got a long downtrend. According to that one, at least. But that's more for macro purposes. I would draw a steeper one, right? From here. Alright, that's not what I meant to do. There we go. Yeah, from here. Stop that. Stop. My mouse is tweaking. There we go. We touched on that downtrend. That's why we bounced downward a little bit more just today. So I'll just micro adjust that. And a similar deal of us potentially heading toward the upside from here. Similar deals, right? If we drop to a low point where it's going to probably be 230. 230 makes sense. Psychological level as well. Hopefully we do bounce, break the downtrend, and continue heading upwards. Could be some short-term relief. Overall, though, we will find ourselves with some resistances. I do want to draw Fibonacci just to see where we could see some resistance. Would it be here? Yes, it would. So, okay, first one would be 255, of course, confirming a flip in the super trend, 4-hour chart. 276 is your next level. And then 3 as well. Yeah, everything got erased. Why did everything get erased? It's okay. It's good to start over once in a while. And Cardano's our last coin here. 2.15% down today. It didn't flip bullish. It did initially at the Crypto Summit announcement. No, this is Crypto Strategic Reserve announcement, sorry. Where Cardano was mentioned that it would be part of a crypto reserve in the United States. So did Solana, so did everything else. I'm assuming we're drawing a downtrend for much longer. Yeah, we are. Because the super trend still indicates that we're bearish. Yeah, that looks fine. I don't like this price action at all. But it is what it is. Shorter term uptrend from here. Oh, it looks like... I feel like there's a lot of indecision at this time. We're oscillating between certain periods. So, yeah. What high was this? This was in December. Not even in January were we that high. January is when everything was supposed to continue higher, like we saw in Sui and Solana. But not for Cardano. It just stopped growing after that. What are we met with here? 82, 76. Important key resistances possibly. Yeah, not really much we can do for Cardano here. Nothing important that I see, at least. This downtrend, in my opinion, should be broken. I don't know where it's getting this downtrend drawn from. What do we got in the 1-hour chart? It's probably more important. It's just today, after, of course, Trump announcement. It flipped a little bearish, so we might continue dropping. But how far? I don't think we're going to drop too bad. This is what's conflicting me here a little bit. The $70 cents zone. We might just bounce off from there, so I wouldn't risk entering anything here. If you really do want to, though, like, I would suggest to the downside. Not financial advice, but, you know, based off of the technical indicators, what they indicate to me. That's all for these coins. Yeah, Bitcoin's still 84,300. Let's keep an eye on XRP, see how that plays out. Hopefully I finally get some profit because I need it at this point. I didn't spend weeks coding a bot to fail me. Anyway, moving on from that, let's go into some news to talk about. You remember that stuff that I showed you yesterday, all those projections, the GDP growth rate, unemployment rate, and something else rate? The Fed staff forecasts, all of that stuff, they were assuming full tariff retaliation, which it's big. It's a good thing because the data that we saw, yes, it was a little bit less than what was originally projected before. But now the projections, they're a little lower, but that's taking into consideration a worst case scenario if, you know, if these tariffs go live and everybody starts retaliating and a huge tariff war goes on, the United States economy will still remain afloat. It will still grow. And that's what we saw those numbers there for, which is a reason why we did get a bit of a rally yesterday, right? There you go. There's still a lot of stuff going on with what the tariff, with this whole tariff situation. Trump says the Fed would be much better cutting rates. So even Trump is like, you know, just cut the rates. Why? Why are you holding on to it? Don't just cut the rates to improve the economy, of course, right? Federal Reserve should be prepared for tariffs Liberation Day on April 2nd. He's calling it Liberation Day. Pretty funny. April 2nd, we know we're going to start seeing a lot more tariffs being placed by Trump. So he still wants interest rates to drop for that. But Fed Chair Powell says, we don't have to be in a hurry to adjust the interest rate. The Fed, you have to keep in mind, they're more independent. They're not necessarily Republican or Democrat or favored to any of the two sides. And historically speaking, Jerome Powell has done a good job at remaining politically neutral in that sense, only cutting rates or hiking rates or keeping them the same whenever necessary, always taking a look at economic data to make his decisions. That's why it's been a little bit pretty simple to predict what would be happening. So this is the Digital Asset Summit. It wasn't at a specific, I'm sure there was a specific place or stuff like that, but Donald Trump didn't actually go anywhere. He just shared a video of him in his office, just addressing the public, right? In terms of crypto and digital assets and stuff like that. In summary, this is what he said. Trump said, "Together we will make America the undisputed Bitcoin superpower and crypto capital of the world." Trump also calls upon Congress to pass stablecoin legislation. USDT is going to $5. Trump says the US will dominate crypto and the next generation of financial technologies. Kind of stuff that we already knew that he was going to say, but what we wanted was him to say something special. Like, there was rumors about how he would be accumulating, or there was also rumors of like, he said it was going to be a major announcement, a major update on the crypto strategy. One of them, people were thinking it would be zero tax on crypto capital gains. Maybe he would announce that. But no, unfortunately, it was just a whole bunch of nothing. So once he finished, he said, crypto is the biggest revolution, but there was no update regarding that rumor of the zero crypto tax. Unfortunately. So yeah, bit of a letdown, and that's why we saw the drop today. 4% drop for XRP. But hey, whenever something has a big movement like that, it usually slowly corrects toward the opposite way, right? Similar deal you see over here. Big pump, right? In a short amount of time, and a slow correction toward the downside. And I'm hoping this doesn't continue downward. I'm hoping that this area right over here is indeed the bottom, right? We can only hope. But hey, it's all going according to my strategy, so it's fine. It's all within my boundaries. This is what happened. Literally this. At this time over here, President Trump started to make a major update. That's what we also saw, a continuation of the rally. This is from yesterday. Things slowed down a little bit. Over here at the peak, before Trump was about to speak, they mentioned the rumor that it could be a zero tax on capital gains. And then Trump ended saying, oh, crypto's the biggest revolution. There was no update on that. And then crypto crashed from there. Bitcoin. This is Bitcoin's chart, sorry. Drops to 83,600. Is that real? I think it did. What was the lowest point here? Yeah, 83,600. All the way from 86 to 83 instantly. Oh well. The SEC also confirms that Bitcoin and crypto mining doesn't violate securities laws. That's bullish. That's a good thing. We're seeing the SEC become more and more pro crypto, dropping all these lawsuits. We just saw what happened with XRP yesterday. And yet people are still bearish and selling off. I don't understand. Coinbase urges the SEC to provide clearer guidelines on digital asset regulations as the incoming Trump administration signals potential changes to the regulatory landscape. They want to make sure that they're playing within the rules, right? Which makes sense to ask that kind of information. But, I mean, does the SEC really know what it wants from the crypto companies, the crypto institutions? I don't know. I'm sure they will get that figured out, though, eventually. Coinbase, did you know in Q4 of 2024, I'm assuming, they sold 12,652 Ethereum. They were also part of the big sell-off. And good for them. I mean, Ethereum is not good. It's back under 2,000, which is also disappointing for Ethereum. Did I even analyze Ethereum today? I don't think I did. I apologize. Currently, there's no trend for Ethereum. We were seeing a bit of a recovery trend over here, which could be the beginning of something larger. 4 hours, we do flip bullish, so that means any previous downtrends are indeed broken. Of course, except for the longer term ones that have been erased here. Of course, they've been erased. I'm going to draw it out again. What is this? Did we beat 20? What was the higher point? Okay, this year was the higher point. That's good. Highest point was December 16. And that's when Coinbase sold Ethereum. Hey, maybe they sold at a good price, right? Before all of this FUD happened. Good for them. Highest point, please. There. Low point, you got here. I'll adjust this. Right here. So, first resistance, we're looking at 2,309. Makes sense. On our way up here. Gonna lock this in place. I'm gonna draw a couple downtrends. Is what we're gonna have to do here. That's one. Is that a super trend or a candle? It is a candle. I have to draw it from over here then. Yeah, so there's your first downtrend. It is a bit longer term, right? And I do feel like this uptrend is going to be easily breakable if we do just continue sideways for a while. Which I feel like that will absolutely be the case, by the way. Where did this downtrend end up? It's coming up. It actually has not been broken. Unless I didn't draw this properly. This here. Yeah, so shorter term downtrends were obviously steeper and have already been broken. Like, I'm assuming it would have been from here to here. That's definitely broken. Should even bother drawing it, just to show you guys. So this is the downtrend that is broken. So now we're currently on here, on our way to meet this next downtrend over here. At what point approximately? 2,100. Break out of 2,300. Next would be hopefully 2,600. That seems to be like a crucial area. I am actually going to mark it down with a circle, because I feel like it would be important. I draw a different color. Why are you orange? Go red. Yes. Cool. Alright. We'll see how that plays out. Anything else to say for Ethereum? Not quite. We do have more news, though. I'll get into that. New York Stock Exchange filed a proposal to permit staking for Bitwise Ethereum ETF. We did hear about this a couple times, right? Bitwise wants to allow their Ethereum ETF for customers to get staking rewards on it, right? Staking is like another form of, say, dividends, right? You're loaning your Ethereum to the actual blockchain, which is used to help validate transactions and improve their ecosystem and all that kind of stuff. And any fees that get passed around, portions of that gets paid out to the people who are lending their crypto. And you just get a portion of your Ethereum back, right? A small percentage. Is it better than the rate of return than the banks? Sometimes, yeah, sure. It's just another form of dividends, like I said. Your capital will grow with the price of Ethereum, if it ever does grow. And on top of that, you're also receiving some dividends. So it would be good for long-term growth. I would agree with that. Short-term, I don't understand why you would want that. And also, it's in terms of staking, I mean, you can stake everything. But I don't know, I just kind of disagree with it. You're adding more Ethereum into the ecosystem. Ethereum has an infinite supply. Inflation is what I'm scared of in Ethereum, right? Other stuff that's like not inflationary, like Bitcoin, XRP, Cardano, those are fine for staking, but you won't get much reward, I don't think. Stuff that has like a lot of a big staking reward, like a big yield, I guess is what you call it, the percentage that you get back. Things like Polkadot, I think Polygon at one point as well. I'm outdated on my staking amounts, but yeah, stuff like that, or I don't know what else. You would get high amounts, but it's super inflationary, and that's why we've just seen like a huge price decay on things like Polygon Matic and Polkadot. But hey, they're also getting their ETF. Well, not Polygon, not that we know of, but Polkadot we know is probably getting an ETF. They're getting filed for an ETF by Grayscale, I think, and yeah, staking on that would also be good. If you are able to allow staking on Ethereum, they will be able to do it for the other ETFs as well. Weren't we also supposed to get a Solana ETF today? I'm gonna look that up. I think it was just a futures ETF, actually. Wow, they're expecting $400 for Solana. That's too much. I think it's a futures ETF, right? I can't find any news about it. First Solana ETF launching today. Did it even get launched? Launches tomorrow. It's a futures ETF, not a spot ETF. So that's where the asterisks lie here. It's futures, not spot. What matters more is spot ETFs. Pretty sure. Because futures, you know, you can use leverage. You're not actually acquiring all that Solana. And there could be liquidations. A lot more volatility in that case. Spot is less volatile. You're still getting exposition to Solana. And it's a one-to-one backed, right? So less volatility, and I mean, if somebody's buying a lot of money, that amount of money would have to be purchased in Solana, right? You're not using leveraged amounts. Canary is filing for Pengu ETF of all things. Pretty sure Pengu is a meme coin. I'm gonna find Pengu. Yeah, it's Pudgy Penguins. Number 119. That's crazy. You're filing for an ETF for this. It's still down hardly 1% today. It hasn't moved. Canary Capital files for Pengu token and NFT ETF. Okay, there you go. So that's probably why it hasn't been moving. Nobody really cares about NFTs anymore. All right. Telegram's Ton Foundation has raised over $400 million with their token sales so far, if you didn't know that. Good for Pavel Durov. After all this time in prison, I'm pretty sure he could do something good with the $400 million. Maybe give back to the community, reinvest in Ton, because that coin has dropped too much. Next is Pump.Fun news. I did mention yesterday that Radium was releasing their own version of Pump.Fun, so now Pump.Fun is kind of running out of business here. In January, they saw about like 1.7 million plus tokens being launched every day back when meme coins were too hot, with over 1% graduating. This week, though, we actually went a full 24 hours without a single coin being launched on Pump.Fun. Isn't that a little suspicious? Huh. We also know that they were moving their Solana out, and it probably seems to be because of this, right? Look, it's Pudgy Penguins. They're introducing a new decentralized exchange called PumpSwap. Beginning now, all coins that complete their bonding curve will migrate directly to PumpSwap. PumpSwap will enable instant migrations, no migration fees. Used to be 6 SOL. There's more liquidity, there's creator revenue sharing, which is coming soon, and more. Create a coin, earn fees on every trade. I might get in on this, actually. Instant migrations, frictionless trading, no bonding fees, saving users, more. Create pools for free. And rug pull people. And you can do it on every ecosystem. All these right over here. Jupiter, USDC, CBBTC, Tron, Pudgy Penguin, Zapdos. Where's Sui? Yeah, oh well. WorldCoin is there too. I don't know the rest. Athena, I do know. Yep. Cool. Other stuff as well. Altcoins will... Altcoins that bond will migrate directly to PumpSwap, create a revenue incoming, similar to Radium and Uniswap. So now Radium will actually have a competitor, right? And it's built on Solana. Well, I mean, okay. It's not necessarily a competitor, but it's just so many decentralized exchanges at this point. I wonder if Pump.Fun will release a token. There was rumors of that before, but their founders came out and said later that no, we're not actually going to have a Pump.Fun token being released. But we'll see. Swap.pump.fun. I want to look at that. Swap.pump.fun. Let's see. Deposit, create, connect wallet. What wallet? Oh, I have to sign up. What can we do? Use Solana, and then... I'm assuming there won't be that much fees. Or they said no fees, right? We'll see. I'll look into it a little bit more. But yeah, excited for this. Although I'll never use it, honestly. Just stick to normal leverage trading. Moving on to world news that has to do with crypto. Dubai is launching a project to tokenize real estate assets on blockchain. That'll be interesting to see. They'll be the first people to do this. We also saw like a bunch of other use cases, real world use cases that people wanted to do with blockchain. For instance, Elon Musk wanted to put all government spending on blockchain for full transparency. We could all see where your taxpayer money is going to, right? All the government projects, etc., would be, because blockchain is accessible to everyone, right? It's to the point where, hold on, I had a post here. Bybit CEO, for example, Ben Zhu, who got his exchange hacked, said that 88% of the $1.4 billion in his stolen Ethereum, it's still traceable, and that's all thanks to the power of blockchain, right? So it just shows the power of blockchain. It's important. It's important for the world. So yeah, congrats Dubai. They're doing it with real estate. That'll be interesting. Pakistan also apparently will be legalizing cryptocurrency. Congrats. Welcome to the club. Russia, though, I don't think they will. They're still turning to gold. They actually boosted their gold reserves to a record-breaking level, reaching $217.4 billion as of March 1. Gold currently accounts for 34.4% of the country's overall foreign exchange reserves. 34.4% backed. Interesting. Gold has been doing well, and Bitcoin will follow gold. We already know this. Still above 3,000 today. It did take a little bit of a breather. Not too much movement. What was this low point? Oh, I'm on a daily chart. Yeah. So the lowest point was 3,037, where we closed practically. Not too bad for gold. Gold is doing fine, and Bitcoin will follow. Currently with Bitcoin, I feel like we're like over here, right? I just want to draw, and this thing will not let me. We're currently like over here in terms of Bitcoin, right? This is like our all-time high, 110, 109. We had our drop to, what is this? Okay, I'm turning off the magnet because it's in the way. As I was saying, I feel Bitcoin is like currently around over here. In terms of macro scale speaking, right? This was Trump election victory, 100K, 110K, low, 76K, whatever it was our lowest point. We bounced back currently. And now, I'm hoping we get a pump all the way over here. If only. Where would that take us if this is 110,000? Maybe 150,000? We take us another small breather, and by November we reach 180 or 220,000. I'm hoping. I don't know. Can I please delete this? Thank you. Alright, so there you go. That's my analysis for gold and Bitcoin. In terms of daily charts, we're on the 200 moving average. It Definitely sucks to break under that, but we're kind of fighting to get above that 200 simple moving average in the daily chart. This is stuff that people do look at. This is 100 simple moving average, and then this one is 50, I think. I think I have it configured that way. Yeah, 50, 100, 200. This is coinciding with the downtrend. The 50 simple moving average. Likely we'll have to break 90,000 though. And then, I'm assuming by the time we hit 100,000, we'll have the 3 moving averages configured the way we want it to, right? We're going to want something like this, something like that, and something like this. Have our 3 moving averages pointed upwards. With the price, of course, like, rising. Something like this, right? Probably by May. April is going to be a bit rough at the beginning because of April 2nd. Liberation Day, as Trump mentioned. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what Trump does. Don't forget, Michael Saylor says that in 20 years, Bitcoin will be worth $13 million. Not billion. Yeah, $1 million. Yeah, I agree with that. Oh yeah, my Bitcoin stuff has also been erased from here. Cool, thanks. I'll just redraw this Fibonacci zone. Currently on that zone right now at 84,000. Seeing resistance at the super trend level, 87,300, 400. I hope we do continue pumping back up there. Let me go back to XRP. How are we finishing off here? Look at that. Getting a little higher. So this is my highest points. This is my entry. But I don't want to jinx it, of course. Because as soon as I close the stream, this is just gonna... You know, where's the brush? Boom. No, I'm kidding. We're about halfway there, though. I can't lie. Almost. Once we reach, like, 70 unrealized profit, that's when we'll be halfway between up and entry. Right now, we're halfway between take profit and stop loss. I will agree with that. Maybe even further. I mean, yeah, if the middle is 180, what's 180 divided by 2? Don't make me do math. 90. So 40 plus 50. Yeah, it's absolutely 90. It's almost 60. Yeah, we're definitely above halfway there. So just continue that same half upwards. I'll hit a take profit for the first time with this trading bot. It's been there since 1:50 p.m. Really? 1:50 p.m.? I swear I did it earlier. No, I missed a trade earlier. Did I? Yeah. Alright. Yep, so I'm going to end it all here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks for 360 subscribers. I think I'm going to hit 1K soon at this rate. I don't know, maybe in a year. I would like to start getting some monetary gain and throwing that gain to be traded. I think that would be pretty interesting. What do I need? I need like 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, which I think I will be able to achieve pretty easily. I still have more video ideas I'm planning, so just bear with me on that as well. And yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I was gonna, yeah, maybe enable super chats, stuff like that. That also has to be a certain threshold you have to get past to enable that on my channel. I don't know. I don't remember the number specifically. I'll have to look into it, but I know that with time we'll get there, so I'm excited for that. Anyway, yeah, that's all. Thanks for watching. Bye.